going to show you today a very powerful feature called user group trees. And so this is if you're managing many thousands or even tens of thousands of units, how are you going to organize all that data in ZInspector and have the right people have the right access to the correct properties, correct tenants, correct inspection data. So that's what we're going to cover here. All right, so timeline, this is all of your inspection history. Tenants, that tab there, that's where you're actually going to invite tenants to do their own inspections, or perhaps do a remote signature request of an inspection you did, have them do periodic inspections. That's all there. The properties tab is really where you're going to manage all your properties and units at that level. Okay, so for all those different screens, how it's going to work is you're only going to have access to the data that you need specific access to. So if you're a community manager, when you go onto properties or tenants or timeline or account manager, you're going to see just the 100 units worth of data that you need. A regional manager is going to see a lot more. And then if you are like a corporate admin, you're going to see everything all across the board, all that data. All right, so that's what we're going to cover here. Now, within properties, we have our admin page, and under admin here, user group, this is where we're going to see the actual user groups get assigned to the particular units of interest. We're going to cover that. All right, and then under context group, we go to, these are all of our employees, and under user groups, this is where we assign the different employees to the user groups. So you separately assign properties to user groups and you assign user to those user groups, and how those combination of the two is what decides what has access to what. Okay, now what I want to show you is in this example, I'm going to just use this kind of little slide here and just kind of give a sample structure. Now, if you have a more simple structure where you just have, maybe each account manager has access to their particular units, you don't really need this type of nesting. There's another good video to watch on user groups, so you should see that also. But in this one here, where we have all units here at the top, we have different regional managers, because it should be a line here. We got these community managers within the regional, or in this case, we have a regional manager, and we have district managers underneath them and community managers under the district managers. Now, the naming hub here, regional, community, district, it doesn't matter. You can be whatever you want. And however many levels deep this tree is, it doesn't matter. You can be as deep as you want to be. Most people, even 3 levels deep can handle tens of thousands of units for the most part from what we've seen, but you can do with it literally whatever you want. Now, under the properties units down here, so now how we're going to do it is we're actually going to, this is, remember, at the property level. So for units in the Willow community, what we need them to say in this example is regional1.community.willow. So it's going to be that part of the tree. Or in this example of Banyan community, that's going to be this level. So regional3.district1.community.banyan. Okay, so that's how this, we're going to represent this tree in our nice spreadsheet that lets us search through thousands of things on the ZInspector spreadsheet tables. So, but that's how we're going to represent this tree on that spreadsheet. All right, now your users, though, they don't have to have the exact same structure. They can basically stop as far down the list as they want. So a regional manager could just say regional 3. The district manager could have the regional3.district, what region they're in and what district they're managing. And again, the community manager is within that. So that's kind of the basic structure that we're going to be looking for to get to. And so this maybe look a little confusing, but and again, this is for if you got lots of people, schedule a web conference, we can help you arrange it, but it gives you a lot of flexibility to basically set up any type of structure you want. And then once it's set up, it will maintain itself, so you can easily add more units to it. All right, so that's kind of the example of the tree structure. So now what I'm going to do there is we've covered in ZInspector how that your data, timeline, tenants, properties, where your properties sit, where your groups sit. There are search tools you can do this manually. But if you are synced up with Rent Manager, so the rest of this video is going to be covered on that topic. So under Settings, under Rent Manager, Then here there's an option for group options, and I'm going to go to change. And what I'm going to do is here enable this. So I'm going to say yes, enable that. Now Rent Manager has what's called property groups. And so they structure it a little bit differently, but you can assign to the same unit, it can have many different property groups. So when you see this list, there could be a whole big list here of different things that come from Rent Manager. You may have certain ones that pay owners, or certain ones for accounting, or certain ones for advertising, or whatever that may be. So you don't need to sync in all that data. Basically what you're going to do is choose the ones that you want to control how you're going to inspectors have access. You might even want to create custom property groups in Rent Manager for this purpose, and that's fine too, or you can use existing ones you have. It doesn't make a difference. All right, so basically what you're going to do is you're going to hit, you see that X that says include the group. So you're going to include the ones that you want to include. All right, now when you first do this, the names may look a little weird. We need each one of these names unique. We don't support odd characters. We don't support spaces. So here you're going to have to rename this kind of appropriately to be a name that works kind of a more simplified naming structure. We like that because it's just easier to search from in all of our different tables. All right, now, but then the key is we have to set this up in our tree. And so what we can do is we're just going to drag it and drop it. So I want my regional is going to be at the top. Then within the regional, in that example, right, we had the community pine and we had the community willow. All right, so that was that part of the tree. And the next part of the tree, we had our regional 3, and then we had our districts, and we had those communities within the district. Right, so that's how this kind of structure gets set up. It sets the hierarchy for then everything all the way down. Now, the nice thing about this is once you've done it, you will not need to touch it again. You can add new properties as you take them on into those property groups. And now it's going to basically handle this all automatically. All of your properties will be there. You assign the user groups the right level, whether it's regional or district manager. And now it's going to automatically control across the board, have your users will have exactly access to the data that they need. And then again, the mobile apps in the field, they will just match whatever you're seeing here. So that's just going to all happen automatically. If you need help with this, feel free to schedule a web conference. We can walk you through it. The Rent Manager integration, though, is very robust. And so even if you make a mistake or some changes or this and that, it really doesn't hurt anything. You can just go in here and change it and resync it. We handle all the background IDs and everything. So it's just all going to work for you all in the background. Okay, if you need anything, just let us know. We're here to help. Take care.